What's up, guys, and welcome back for another episode and another season, really, of Chat with Will Grant. I'm super grateful for you guys all coming in and willing to open your minds and open your hearts to learn with me. And I'm just super excited. Here is my co-host, Dr. Edwin Adams. How are you doing today, Edwin?
Man, Happy New Year, brother. It feels like it's been forever since we've done that. Hello to our faithful few who keep coming back time after time. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad to be here with you.
Yeah. It's always exciting to have a new year to really just put things in perspective, to kind of even analyze how the last year went and where we want this year to go. And, that's why we chose for the first week of this almost 3-month series of 12 different topics. That's why we chose to start with goals. It's kind of the perfect time of the year. I actually got together with a group of my closest friends and closest athletes and had like a big, what we call a family dinner, and then sat around a fire and we all took time to write out our goals, all of the things that we wanted to accomplish. And then we shared it with each other, which I think is extremely powerful as well, to almost bring accountability. If your top 3 or 5 closest friends know your goals, they might ask you when it comes March, April, May, hey, how's it been going with that? And that could be that extra spark of motivation needed to really stay on track.
Yeah, well, this is probably one of the biggest problems I see in goal setting. Is goal setting has to start with a reflective evaluation of what you've already accomplished. I think there is often confusion in that people don't see value in the experiences they've already had. So yeah, I think you bring up a great point of what the first place to start is, looking back. So then you can look forward with probably a little bit more courage too.
Yeah. So 2 things, I know it's awesome that we are getting together here online, and I'm super grateful for this platform to be able to connect with people all over the world and, share each other's insights and share each other's ideas. But I highly recommend, if you haven't yet already, get together. Whoa. Pop up on my computer. I highly recommend getting together with your closest people in person, and talking about how the year went, and really clarifying your goals with each other as well. And the intention is, after this 30 to 60 minute webinar or live conversation or YouTube video that you're watching later, that you'll have a good idea on how to clarify your goals and why we are making goals, and really how to not only clarify what you want to accomplish, but actually make some action steps to making it happen. So yeah, I highly recommend getting with your closest people and trying to find some time together as well in person. And also find some sort of sketch, piece of paper that you can write stuff down, because writing tends to be the clearest form of thinking, because you have to finish your thought to then finish the sentence. I like to use just a regular sketchbook with no lines, but you can use anything you have or anything you have available. And it's just so important to clarify our destination to know where to go. We have to know where we're intending to go to then know what to do. Couldn't you say, Edwin?
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start, especially since we're recording this at the beginning of 2021. Will, I think a lot of people are trying to make some drastic changes in some aspect of their life, either body, mind, or spirit.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I like what you said about making changes and like even analyzing, the previous year. So when you do get with that group, or even right now, I highly recommend writing it down to then spend some more time with later. But after I finish an event, or after I finish anything of importance to me, if that was a month, a year, or just a big event, I like to do two things. I'll take my piece of paper and I'll put a big line down the middle, and on the left I'll put positives, and I believe that's a very important habit and place to put our attention is what are all the good things that happened last year, just to clarify and to pinpoint all of the positive things that is already going on in your life kind of helps that keep expanding and helps that keep growing. What you focus on expands. So it's always important to then clarify what are all the good things that happened to you last year. And then that'll give you a good idea of why those good things are happening, just to give that extra thought and attention. And on the other side of that, I'll have some takeaways. So, what are the things that you learn that you want to do differently or do better for this year, and some things that you want to just continue to focus on in this coming year. So starting out when you're wanting to clarify where you're trying to go is first, like you're saying, analyze the year before, have a note for all the good positives, and then have a note for all the takeaways of the things learned and the insights gained.
Yeah, well, and thinking into that, I would argue that if we walk into the gym, if we walk into the grocery store 30 days from now, we're going to find people's intentions have fallen off.
Yep.
The momentum is dying. So it seems to me, and I'd love for you to comment on this, that when you pick the destination that you're going to, it has to be founded in something. It has to be based in something, oh gosh, maybe greater than yourself, or something really meaningful, or else it just can't stick. Is that fair?
Yeah. Oh, 100%, and I like to narrow that down to three different words. One is you clarify. You clarify exactly what you're trying to accomplish, and the more specific and measurable and attainable and detailed that you make this goal, the more likely it is to happen. So first is to clarify, and then to give that goal some extra power, some extra motivation, so it doesn't fade after 30, 45 days when that New Year's resolution motivation wears off, is you have to attach that goal with a why, with your reasoning of why you want to accomplish that goal. So every goal that you write down, under that goal, you want to write down why you want to accomplish that goal. And sometimes just trying to clarify your why will make you adjust your actual goal, because it doesn't align with what you truly intend. So the first thing is clarify with as much detail as possible. And the second thing is find your reason, find your why, because that's that extra power and that's that extra strength into that goal. And then the third one, and this is what's actually going to make that happen, is to create a habit or create a practice that then aligns with that goal. So if your goal is to, be at this body fat percentage or this weight or this strength number in a gym, and I'm using just the gym or exercise as an example because it's super measurable, which tends to be a really good goal. So if your goal is to get to this certain weight, if it's lifting or by your body weight, that goal is just a dream. That goal is just a wish until you then create some sort of practice, some sort of daily habit that you're doing every single day to then go with that goal. And that's one of the biggest things I've learned that actually helped me start accomplishing my goals, because for the longest time I had goals, there was always things that I wanted, especially from the times I was 15 to about 24. I had all these goals, but for some reason they just, the more I worked, it seemed like they just kept getting further and further away, and it was because I didn't really clarify what I was going to do, why I was doing it, and how I was going to get it done.
Yeah. Without a destination, any road will take you there, right? So
Yeah.
you can end up spinning your wheels. So I appreciate the why, and what I found through coaching people to goal outcomes is that they're not asking why enough times.
Yeah.
Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Well, I want to look better. Why do you want to look better? Well, because it feels good. Why does it feel good? Well, because I don't hate myself as much. Why do you hate yourself? I think it's related to a poor relationship I had with my dad. You eventually get
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the way down
Yeah,
to the
exactly. And and I love that practice, and I recommend even giving yourself, set yourself a 30-minute timer and just keep asking yourself why and why and why. Like this is something that I've been doing a lot, not only with myself, but with all of the athletes that we've been working with, because we've been working with a lot of up and coming athletes. Some top amateurs that, tend to or are intending to turn pro. And then one thing that we did is we sat down with them and then we clarified their goals. And then now we're constantly asking them why. Even I noticed one athlete that we were working with, he was in the gym and I could tell he just got back from a race where he didn't quite get the result he wanted, and I could tell he wasn't fully there into his gym because his mind was almost down on himself, lacked the motivation, so I just stopped him and asked him, why are you here? And then he said, to accomplish, the goals that I wrote down with you. I said, why? And then he just stopped and he had to think and he had to get that extra, like he had to connect with his reasoning. And then all of a sudden you have a whole different fire in your belly because you're knowing why you're doing it. That can be for your kids, your wife, your mom, your dad, your family. And what I found is if you can connect your why with something bigger and more important than yourself, then it just gives it that extra power and that extra fire, so to speak, to burn when, it gets a little bit dark, and it gets a little bit challenging. You'll be able to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And if you're not constantly asking yourself, it's very easy for that motivation to wean off.
Yeah, Will, there's a great book. I don't know if you're a Simon Sinek follower, but his
Yeah,
book,
yeah. I've
Start
read
With
one of his
Why.
books and it was one of my favorite books.
Yeah, Game Changer. In the
Yep.
book he talks about the golden circle, and it's three concentric circles, and the one in the middle is why, and then the one outside of that is what, and then the one outside of that is how. Well, too often we're trying to go into the circle, so we're always trying to figure out how do we do it, what are we doing, and then eventually we get to why. But Simon's going, no, it's the other way out. It's got to start with why and
Yeah.
move out.
And maybe that's how I subconsciously got this whole, I guess, outline here, is because that's kind of what we're doing here is we're asking our why, and then we're asking our what, and then we're going to our how, and that's what the clarify, reason, and then habit is. You're asking, clarify what you're trying to accomplish. That is the first biggest step. Then understand why you're trying to accomplish that and narrow that down as far as you want to take that rabbit hole, and then creating, a process, a practice, a habit to then get that goal. You can have a goal, but if you only check into it once a week, it's going to take you 3 lifetimes to get it, So if you want that goal, the more time and energy and focus you put into that goal, the quicker it's going to come to you, and that daily habit. Everybody has an hour every day. If it's truly important to you, you will find an hour every day. So first, unless you have something else on that, we can actually go to the what, because now we know why we're making goals, right? Why we create goals. Next is what. What are our goals? I think when we're creating goals, we want our goals to be SMART, and that's the abbreviation that I'm sure we've heard so many times. It's specific, measurable, attainable. I think R might be reasonable.
Relevant.
Relevant. And then what was T, Edwin?
Timely. A time bound. Timely. So you have a deadline.
I really like to focus on specific and measurable. I'm not even too worried about attainable because you don't even know what you're capable of accomplishing, So, I'm working with a younger athlete and we went to a training session this morning, and I asked them both, what are your goals? What were your goals that you wrote down for the beginning of the year? And one of them said he wants to get faster to to place as best as he can, and then to get top 5 in the state. And I said, well, you just told me one goal, and that's to get top 5 in the state, because to get faster, to get better, or to be your best, it's not very specific and it's not very measurable. There's no way of telling if how close you are to that goal, if you're ever going to accomplish that goal, or if you did accomplish that goal. So the first, and when you're clarifying what your goals are, is making sure that it's an actual real thing, of specific and measurable. Okay. And putting a time frame on that goal is another aspect to even make it stronger and smarter. Right. And yeah, so that's very important on any goal that you're making. Make sure it's a real thing and not just some open ending.
Yeah, I think when you create SMART goals, it is great to be in conversation with someone else about them, like a coach, a mentor, because you can't solve your problems with goal setting with the same level of thinking that got you into the problem in the first place. So I think it's good to have somebody to bounce it off of, to call your BS story that you're telling yourself. So that athlete wasn't going to get away with anything with Will Grant standing there staring him down going, seriously, dude, you can set better goals than that. So don't self-delude yourself.
Yeah. But the one goal he made of top 5 in the state, that's a great goal. Like it was smart, it was measurable, it was attainable, it was relevant, it was timely, it was everything, So let's narrow down on that, because if you get top 5 in the state, that probably is you going your fastest and placing your best, into what you can believe, and the next thing,
Well, Will, let's look at that goal and see if we could make it just a little bit better.
Okay.
So he wants to be top 5 in the state. So which of the smarts are missing there?
Well, the state final is in May, so there is a time frame on it. It's very specific. It has the number attached to it. It's obviously measurable. It's definitely attainable, and it is relevant, because that's what his life is doing. That's why he's here. That's what he's focused on. Am I missing one?
No, I think generally speaking, you could go pull out of those few words and assume you've hit all the SMART categories, but I would even argue that it's important to put the date on there. I'm going to be top 5 in the state by May 5th.
Yeah, that is there because the state final ends on a certain date. So I think that date is like May 14th, right? But yeah, he should probably know exactly what that date is, but the date is already, I guess, pointed out, and that is super important to making sure that you have a time frame on it, or else it's just never ending,
Yeah.
and there is a type of goal that, it can be pretty hard to put a time on it, but I think even those goals are good to do that because it gets you hustling, and when I talk about that, I'm talking about a BHAG goal, and I learned that from, I think, the author, Jim Collins. And it's just that one big specific goal, big, hairy, audacious goal that everything revolves around that you want to accomplish. If that's taking your business to doing this, or taking yourself to climbing this mountain, some big goal that is so scary and so far off that it's going to take every ounce of your energy to have. And I think after creating SMART goals, you also want to have a big, hairy, audacious goal of what is the biggest thing that you want to accomplish. What is the most audacious thing that you want to accomplish in your lifetime, and then revolve your SMART goals as checkpoints towards that. And then there's other ways to also have a 3 to 5 year goal, and then there's 1 year goals, which we'll also spend some time on as well.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add deals with relevancy with the R part of SMART. That yeah, he wants to be top 5 in the state by a certain date. There's this little because transition. Relevancy speaks to a BHAG, perhaps. It can speak to the type of person you want to become or the type of influence that you want to have. So I want to be
Yeah, I
top
like that.
5 in the state by a certain date because it matters in me being another step closer to an Olympic event, or it means that I'm going to be able to help more people be better with my training. I'm going to be able to do so much more because of this win. So you see, there's an attachment there within the goal that establishes the relevancy.
Yeah, yeah, I like that, and that seems really relevant to your why. Of you know clarifying and then understanding your reasoning as well. So what I want everybody to do is a good practice I learned from the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which I'm sure you've probably read a couple times, Edwin. And that's beginning with the end in mind, and that's kind of all what goal creating is too, and this first exercise, it's not going to necessarily be about creating goals, but more about creating an intention. And what I learned in that book, and you can spend some time writing this down if you have a pen and a piece of paper, or just noting what we're doing to then spend a little bit deeper and more time later on with it, is try to actually picture yourself at the end. Picture yourself in a room full of all the people you love and care about, in a room full of everybody that you knew throughout your life of any importance, and then realizing that they're all there for your funeral, and just taking some moments and writing down, what do you want those people to say about you after your life is over. For me, I want them to say that I made them better, that I contributed to making their lives better, to making their lives stronger, and to devoting myself to the tribe and to the community, and to, really trying to be my best version of myself so I can help, the world and actually make change and impact, and that's just for me. Yours can be the complete opposite, but, spend some moments to create an intention of your life, almost, of what do you want this all to have meant. What do you want, your closest people to say about you? What do you want your story to end like? And then just spending 3 to 5 minutes to 10 minutes trying to picture your perfect life can be a very beneficial practice to really helping you clarify what your goals are going to be. And then the next thing, just narrow it down, small circle, because we just went way, way big circle. Now we're gonna narrow it down to small circle. And you can create, 50-year goals, 20-year goals, 10-year goals, and work that all the way down to something closer if you want to really spend a lot of time with it. Here, I'll show you kind of what I did that day, if you can see. I have a spot here. It says clarifying my goals. It says 50, 45, 1 year, even down to the month and the week of what I'm trying to accomplish on that. Okay. So just to start off as simple as possible, let's start with a 5-year goal. So 3 to 5 years, what do you hope to accomplish? Where do you hope to be financially? Where do you hope to be for yourself, physically, mentally? What do you hope to create? Is there something specific? We're all creating something into this world, and we're all having to work for something. We all have some sort of job or some sort of positioning in our tribe or in our community. And in the next 3 to 5 years, if everything went right, what do you hope to accomplish? And spend a few minutes writing that down, and, try to make it as detailed as possible. And like I said, this could be a number where you want to be financially. This could be numbers of where you want to be physically. This could be something specific you want to create, a trip that you want to take. Just clarify those specific goals of what you're trying to accomplish in those 3 to 5 years. And then after you spend a few minutes with that, narrow it down to 1 year. In this year, try to picture yourself doing the same exact thing January 2022. Really, if you need to, close your eyes and picture yourself. All right, 2021 is over. You're going into 2022. What do you hope to accomplish by then? Where do you hope to be in your life? Where do you intend to be at that point? And write that down. Put as many details as possible. Spend time trying to feel what it feels like to be in that position, and then just write down as many details as possible. And I think writing, again, adds that extra energy towards it because you're clarifying it. You're really making it physical and putting it into the world or putting it into the universe. Okay.
So Will, have you ever seen
with that, write your 3 to 5 year goal?
Sorry, guys. I think Will's internet might have gone out. I'll just add to his conversation until that clears up. If you've ever seen the Wheel of Life, it is just a big circle with pie sections cut out. And each of those pie sections kind of represents an area of life. So Will was talking about it could be a financial goal. It could be a physical goal. It could be a business goal, family, mental, spiritual, lifestyle, relationships. We're talking about goal setting holistically. And I think we sometimes think too small when we goal set. There's a whole lot of life to live out there. And the best way to live it fully is to set goals wholly. Will, how would you comment on that about staying in one section of the pie versus really let's take a look at all of life and set some BHAGs and some better goals in different areas?
I feel like the more time you spend with this, the clearer you're going to be on your goals. And that's the clearer you're going to be day to day on knowing what to do, how to do it, why you're doing it, and everything. And I think a huge part of our happiness comes from pushing ourselves to our limits, to accomplishing these things. We're not going to be happy sitting on the couch just chasing comfort. Make these goals challenging enough to get you uncomfortable to where, like Edwin said earlier, if you're wanting to accomplish a goal that you don't already have, something needs to change in your life to then get what you haven't gotten yet. I think that's what's going to breed happiness. Most people I know who struggle with a depression, they struggle with purpose. They struggle with something that's pushing them outside of their comfort zone, that's challenging them every single day to level themselves up. And I think that's what's going to help us break through our limits. And that's the best feeling in the world that then creates, the happiness, is the finding the growth and then devoting that towards something bigger than ourselves. If that's our family, our team, our community, anything, the stronger that we can be, the stronger that we can help out, the people that we care about the most. And what's really cool is the stronger you are, the stronger we are, and the stronger we are, the stronger we will be as a species and as a planet, to where it's not just for us trying to make our selfish wants and needs into this planet, but the more we create goals that push ourselves and that make us better and that make us raise our awareness, the more that we are contributing to society just by improving ourselves, because we as a species are only as strong as the individual. And by us strengthening ourselves, we're able to strengthen us as a species, as a whole, and as a planet. And as well, the stronger we make ourselves, the more that we can lift others up, and that's when it becomes that's when we feel good. That's when we're happy. That's when we're living a fulfilled life, is when we're devoting all of our strengths and gifts towards things that are bigger than us. And we're challenging ourselves to reach a new level of ourselves towards any sort of mission that's bigger than ourselves.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, Will. I think it is common for people to look at goal setting from a deficiency standpoint. Well, God, I really need to get into shape. I'm overweight right now. We plan all the goals in the deficit areas, and we forget about our strengths and our giftedness. So we're out of balance. So we get burnt out working so hard on our weaknesses. We forget that we have gifts that can carry us farther in a holistic goal setting approach, and kind of offset the trudge that we're going to go through in goal setting in a deficit area. But there's a lot of abundance over there, and some of our strength and giftedness we need to continue to grow and hone, right?
Yeah, 100%. The more you focus on your strengths, the better you're going to do in anything, because we all have different strengths. We all have different gifts. And it's our job to develop those gifts, to contribute those gifts towards our tribe. If we're beating ourselves up all day over our shortcomings, we're just going to become shorter, and we're just going to feel more deficient, as what you're saying. If you want to feel good, you got to focus on your strengths, because when you focus on your strengths, you're going to have those tools right in your pocket, ready to use when someone's in need.
Yeah. So when you go through your evaluation of what you've done and where you want to go, and you've set goals, and let's say, I would say, Will, don't choose more than seven or fewer than five. So pick 5 to 7 goals, and then look at them for balance. If they're all in one area of your life, maybe there's a better approach to goal setting that won't
I
create
like that.
burnout and set you up for success.
Yeah, yeah, I really like that. That's perfect. And then, so once you spent the time clarifying your goals and understanding your why, you know, th- the next part is creating that process, or creating that habit, and that's how you decide what to do this month. That's how you decide what you're trying to accomplish this week. That's when you decide what to do today and what to do tomorrow. Because we all have those things we have to do. We have to wake up, we got to brush our teeth, we got to shower, we got to eat breakfast. We might have to take care of a family, or go to work, or do this or that. But what are the goals outside of that? And then, even if it's just an hour a day, clarifying what habit you're going to do on a daily basis to get you closer towards that goal. And on top of that, you can even narrow down, after you're done with the yearly goal, go, okay, so it's January. Where do I want to be by February 1st? Like, what are the biggest things that I can accomplish, that's actually possible to accomplish this month, to get me there? And then boom, write all that down, everything that you're going to accomplish in January. And then once you have that clarified, and you even have your why under that, then start with the week. Okay, so if that's what I want to accomplish for the month, what am I going to accomplish this week to get me there? What do I need to focus on this week? What do I need to have done by Monday morning, that I know, look, I finished that, I'm on to the next thing. What does that look like to you? And then that's how you know how to wake up today and what to work on.
And it might not be a smooth process. You might try 100 different habits and systems to get you moving forward. And where I see people falter is that they try one way, and when it doesn't work, you know what? This wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I knew it. You didn't try it long enough, and you didn't take risks to try something new and tweak it just ever so slightly to make it better. So, Will, I know you have had to create lots of systems and habits for athletic performance. How long does it generally take you to find a system that works for you?
You're always adjusting. See, like, that's why I That's why it's called a practice. That's why it's called a process, a practice. You can call it a habit, but that can be, I guess, confusing, because a habit, people think that you're doing it every single day, which, yeah, that helps. But you also want to think of it as like an open-ended practice, to where, hey, if this isn't working, we have to know when it's not working to try something else. And it's not like we're starting over, but now we're coming with a little bit of experience, of whatever that got you from A to B. Now it's time to go from B to C. So that's why we tend to have such a bad relationship with a failure. We think that failure is some sort of ending. Okay, I didn't do it. May 14th came around and I got 6th place. You know what I mean? And that say, okay, I failed, I might as well just give up. No. Now you're coming from experience. Now you understand what worked, what didn't work, and how to then get top 3, So, and that works in all different areas of your life. And it's a practice, knowing that final destination of what you're trying to accomplish, of what that big, hairy, audacious goal is, right? And then you're just adjusting and realigning every day, every week, to align yourself with that frequency, align yourself with that energy, align yourself with that person, with that reality. And that comes tinkering every single day, of tinkering with yourself, your mindset, your habits, your routines, tinkering with, every, like the people that you're learning from, the people who are around you, constantly tinkering with what's makes you feel good and what's working for you, until at the end of the day, you're just like, oh, damn, I got somewhere today. What worked really well that helped me get somewhere today. And then you'll have some days where you're like, shit, I felt like I was banging my head against a wall. Well, that's going to build a little bit of a callus. That's going to have some strength to then get you to be able to push harder and get even closer to that goal the next day.
Yeah, that's a fantastic description, Will. It's like gravity, right? It's always there, whether we're using it to our benefit or not. Same thing in achieving goals. Stephen Pressfield called that the resistance. Resistance is always there, but you know what? Without resistance, you can't grow. So yeah. If you're feeling it, that's a good compass point that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, and we've all learned as athletes, the resistance training is the part that grows the muscle, is the part that grows the strength. And any sort of resistance in your life, this could be a screaming kid, this could be a nagging wife, this could be a crazy boss work schedule. Any sort of resistance you have in your life that makes it challenging to accomplish that goal, that is there for a reason. That is in your way to build you the strength, to build you the know-how, how to really get to your goal. And you have to learn how to overcome that to get where you need to be.
Can't say it any better. Well said, Will.
So just to kind of sum it all up, start big and then narrow down that circle smaller and smaller. That's the way that I like to do it. And that's the way that have really helped for me is, spend 30 minutes, an hour in your sketchbook, in your journal. And this is not just a once a year thing. Do this once a month, do this every Sunday, create a habit and practice of this, of just sitting down, anytime you feel like that motivation's not there, go back and don't just reread your goals, rewrite your goals, because if you come back in February, if you come back in March, your goals might change just a tiny little bit. And that's okay. That's fine. But, if you don't check back into that weekly or check back into that monthly, it could start going this way while you're going this way. And then all of a sudden it comes January 2022 and you're like, well, shit, I didn't get anywhere this year. So that's why it's going to start going this way. And then February 1st, you rewrite everything you're trying to accomplish on that month, and then it realigns it real quick. And then but then guess what? It starts getting closer and closer to the destination that you intend, and just living intentionally alone is the trick. We have to know what we're trying to get out of this, why we're trying to do it, to then know what to do, and just to live without care or without tension. Maybe that's okay for somebody, but I think that's a selfish way to live. If you want to be your best, to be our best, you got to know exactly what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it.
And again, be in dialogue with someone else about this so that you can't fall prey to your story,
Yeah, exactly.
that truth that you've told yourself for too long.
Yeah, yeah, and that's two main points. One is, like, if this is your wife, your best friend, your husband, your kids, get together with your core people. And if they say, "Hey, that's stupid, I'm not doing that," well, maybe that's not the people who fit into your 2021. And that's okay to do. And that's okay as well. And that's why every single month you're revisiting those goals to see where you're at, to see what's working, to see what's not working, and maybe if it needs adjusting. Sometimes the adjusting is the people in your life. Sometimes the adjusting is your own habits. Sometimes the adjusting is yourself, or could be your job, or could be your diet, or could be your goals, but just to check into that every single month, to rewrite what you want to accomplish in that 5 years. It's going to have those tiny little differences, but if you rewrite every month for a year, that would be 12 times what you want to accomplish in 5 years. It's going to be more dialed in than you could have even imagined it. So you'll be able to literally close your eyes and picture it. You'll be able to literally close your eyes and vision what you want to accomplish. And to make anything a reality here, you must first see it here. You can't make anything happen here without first seeing it here. If not, you're just going to be pushed with the wind and with the waves, with wherever the outside energy is pushing you. If you want to go somewhere specific, you have to intend where you're trying to go.
Yeah, Joe Dispenza talks a lot about that, Will, about that's the only way the universe can reward you for that which you seek is to vision it into existence. So
Yeah.
Having the feeling attached to the vision in your mind of what it would feel like to be there from all the five senses, from an excitement and emotional standpoint. If you can't do that, the universe doesn't know what to do for you. So yeah, that's such a great point to visioneer very clearly, emotionally, and intentionally.
And coming from first-hand experience, that exact practice has been probably the key for me. Like, I've been accomplishing more goals lately than I probably ever have in my life, where it's like, now I'm going to an event and I'm just like, holy shit, this is exactly what my goal was. And this is exactly what my intention was. Like, I'm having kids here from all over the country staying to learn from us and to train with us. And that was exactly my goal 2 years ago, and sometimes your 1 year goal can take 2 years, and that's okay. Just keep realigning that every single month. But what has made it so powerful is visioning, like literally every day when I go to bed, pretty much, sometimes I lay down and I just pass out, but pretty much every single time that I go to bed, I try to vision where I want to be in 3 years. I try to vision where I want to be in 1 year, what it feels like, what it looks like, and what that does is that has my subconscious brain working overtime at nighttime to figuring all these things out of what I got to do. And then when I wake up the next day, all these things are coming at me in my life. I know exactly which way to turn, and I know when the opportunity presents itself, because so many of us can have a goal, but we don't really know what it looks like when it's in front of our face. Right? But when we spend that time, and this has been so powerful for me, I cannot stress this enough, is every night before I go to bed and every morning when I wake up, before I get out of bed, I try to picture what my BHAG is, what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Dip into all those senses. So then when I'm walking about my day, minding my own damn business, all of a sudden this presents itself like, oh, that's the way. That's the way I'm supposed to go. And I know that for a fact because I envisioned what the end product looked like. So I know which way my GPS is telling me to turn.
Brilliant. Well said, Will. Well, let's land this plane. Will, do you have a challenge for people this week related to goal setting?
Yeah, meet with your friends. Meet with the people you care about the most. Meet with the people you care about the most and write down and clarify the goals that you want to accomplish this year. Set a BHAG, set a 5-year goal or set a 3-year goal and really try to envision and picture where you want to be January 2022. And do this with at least 2 other people. So 3 people. Okay. So it can't just be your wife. It can't just be your mom. It's got to be, a couple people. Get a little group in there. Okay. Have a good meal. Do a little, a few rounds of Wim Hof breathing, before, enjoy that time together and clarify what you're trying to accomplish. Post a picture. Take a picture of all you guys together. Take a picture of your sketchbook. Take a picture of something proving that you did it. Post it on social media, tag me. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring accountability for every follower that you have. And it's not only going to bring that accountability for yourself, but it might motivate another person to do the same thing. And like I said, the stronger that you can be, the stronger that we can be. The more that we can strengthen ourselves, the more that we can strengthen each other. So that's my challenge. Get together with a group that you care about, that you want to accomplish their goals with them. Write down your goals together, take a picture together, post it up, inspire somebody else to do the same.
There you go, everybody. You must tag the Will Grant and me, Disrupt Comfort, because that's what we're trying to do, disrupt your comfort zone, right, Will?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for showing up. And we have, like I said, we're doing a whole series on this. So next week is going to be all about habits, next Wednesday. And don't forget, if you want to sign up and join in on these conversations where you can literally ask any questions that you have, go over to chatwithwillgrant.com. Reserve your spot. It's completely free. Edwin, did we have any comments or questions this time at all?
Yeah, one question just came in from Ray. Can you repeat the title and author of one of the books you discussed? I believe it was Game Changer. So there were a couple of books. Stephen Pressfield's
War of Art.
Yeah, War of Art. And then, gosh, I'm getting old. I've already forgotten what books we
Game
talked
Changer,
about.
Simon.
Start with Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah.
That was the other one. And I think there was one
Steve
more.
Steve Covey, Seven Habits
of Highly Effective People. And if you want, if failure is something that holds you back, John Maxwell's book, Failing Forward, was a game changer for me.
Yeah. So don't forget to go over and chat with willgrant.com if you want to join in on any of these conversations. We also have a bunch of new and exciting things going on at thewillgrant.com, my website, and you guys can contact me and say what's up and ask any questions you may have on the comments below, or direct message me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you use the most. I'm on there trying to connect and help as many people as possible. So thanks everybody for showing up today. Thank you, Edwin Adams, for just being awesome, being the awesome leader you are. And I will see you guys next week to go over habits.
See you, everybody. Peace out.
Later.